Morning, everyone. Welcome to our monthly webinar from MConnect. I hope everyone can hear me now. We are going to start in a couple of minutes. Just making sure everyone can hear and hear me as well as see my screen. And I hope everyone out there is doing fine with all the COVID stuff going around, and hope everyone is following the social distancing and using sanitizers, washing hands, all those kind of good stuff. And again, as always, our webinars are focused around restaurant marketing, and how restaurants can benefit using different things. In the past, we have done webinars around Instagram marketing, third-party delivery apps, all those things. And today's topic is about why a restaurant should actually have a website, and what one has to do in order to optimize their website. Again, we will be focusing on restaurants, and whatever we are talking about can be applied to even to small businesses as well. But mostly, whenever we give examples, it would be based on our experience with our clients, and so that you, as who's watching this webinar, can relate to as to how you can implement this for your restaurant or for your set of clients, right? So a little bit about us. Started in 2015 as a data-driven restaurant marketing company with a focus on customer engagement. And we have built this platform, which we call as which will manage a customer's journey, which we call as an A to A model, awareness to advocacy, in terms of how to keep track of customers' journny when it comes to a restaurant brand. In today's topic, we're going to actually talk about like a little bit about why a website makes a difference, given the fact that there's so many things out there in terms of social media, in terms of other avenues like third-party apps, online ordering, and all those kind of things that's out there. And we will delve on this topic. It is a given that one actually has to have a website. But again, we will reiterate the point, and then most of the focus would be around how what steps one actually has to take in order to focus on optimizing the restaurant website, right? In terms of the reason why one actually has to take is, you can just think of it as like it's like a restaurant's website should be a destination for your customers, destination to find out more about you as a restaurant, who the people are behind the restaurant, what kind of menu you're offering, are there any specials, what do you do with the community, and all these other channels in terms of your social media, or in terms of third-party apps, or any PR activities that you do, should be feeders that should come on, that should allow your customers and prospective customers to come to your website and get a glimpse of what exactly you are. Again, bear in mind, having a website, again, what kind of website and all those kind of things, which we're going to talk about in the next few minutes, is very, very important, given the fact right now that more and more people are going online and trying to find out in terms of online ordering, or trying to find out what exactly you as a restaurant owner are doing in terms of community involvement, or in terms of protecting your staff, or what kind of specials you're running, and all those kind of things. So it is very, very, very critical at this point, given the fact that more and more people are going online, and having a website that you can control is very important. There are a lot of third-party applications and all those kind of things who come to you and say that they will develop a website which just nothing but one-page screen, which has a menu, and that's it. It does not have anything to do with your brand, your messaging, your content, and all those kind of things. And having a website is not a big cost. This one, like right now at mConnect, we are running for $40 a month. You get a brand new website and an online ordering included as well. So you can actually see having a website is very, very crucial and very cost effective. The ROI on having a website is no brainer at this point of time. Again, we will be talking more in terms of how you can optimize it and how you can get the best in terms of returns and all those kind of things that you can actually look into in terms of from a return on investment point of view, from a website point of view, right? Again, if you look at it, these are some of the statistics in terms of like why whenever I come across anything, for example, me as a customer, I come across a restaurant brand name, the very first thing I do is I go to their website. I want to check exactly what exactly this restaurant is all about. What kind of menu do they have? Is it what kind of people they are? People are behind this particular brand. Are there any locations near me that actually serve? And obviously, are there any specials that actually I can actually get hold of, that I can actually place an order for? And all these kind of things, right? So basically, making sure your restaurant website is, or your website is, the very first impression that a customer will get. So if someone is driving on the road, or they're browsing on social media pages, and they come across an ad, or someone reshared a picture or something like that, they want to know exactly if the food that is being offered is exactly the same that you actually have at the restaurant. And they might be looking at different pictures, they might want to look at the menu and all those kind of things. So the very basic first thing, again, when most of the customers do, is they go to the website, and from there they will try to judge whether it is a visit worthy restaurant in terms of the menu, the people behind it, specials, and all those kind of things, right? So it's, again, as you can see from the statistics here, making sure that you have the right website with the right technologies and all those kind of things, it's super important, right? And then, given that it is the first impression is the best impression, making sure that when you go and someone lands on your page, you can identify whether this customer is a new customer or a repeat customer, and based on that, you can actually optimize your website. Again, we're going to talk about that in a little while, in terms of making sure that the experience that the customer has with your website is the best foot forward that you can actually take, right? Again, the ROI in terms of awareness, in terms of the orders you might get, in terms of the referrals you might get, is beyond doubt at this point of time. In terms of the cost, again, as I said, like it's very, very cheap to build a website in these days. Price effective, like 40 to 50 bucks a month will actually get you a brand new website as per your specifications. So, having said that, why you need a website, these are the 10 steps that you need to basically take. Again, these 10 steps are not in any particular sequential order in terms of one being that priority number one and 10 being the last one. So we just have put these 10 steps which are equally important that you need to do in order for you to make sure that you can execute, as in like you need to execute all these 10 steps. And these 10 steps have to be on a continuous basis, in the sense that you need to make sure that when you look, if someone is trying for restaurants, or trying to look for pizza places around me or something like that, you need to make sure that the content that you have on your website is updated on a periodic basis. Again, this is one of the things that we're going to actually talk about in a little while. Right. So the very starting step is basically your brand identity. Let's assume you are a pizza place. You are a pizza place, a local pizza place, mom and pop place. You make your dough every day, or maybe twice a day, right? You get your produce locally, and maybe you actually are a family-oriented restaurant, right? So if these are the characteristics of your brand, right? So you want to project the same image to your customers through your brand identity. Again, brand identity is not like where you need to spend millions and millions of dollars to come up with a brand identity. It could be as simple as saying that, okay, my restaurant is known for offering fresh food at a reasonable cost for the entire family in a pleasant ambience. It could be as simple a statement as that, that will actually say, okay, my pizza place is that. So if you take that as your brand, as the value proposition, or the brand that you want to identify your pizza place with, then you need to kind of come up with, okay, if it is fresh or if it has to be family oriented, what kind of colors do I have to look for? What kind of pictures I need to show on my case? Like for example, if you're talking about fresh, obviously you might want to look at maybe something to do with light colors, green or yellow or orange or something like that. Again, it need not be like that, but again, you can go with those. But in another case, if you want to say that you're an authentic Italian restaurant with deep roots from up North Italy or South Italy or whatever be the case, then you might want to go with the flat colors of Italy to showcase that, hey, these recipes that you are actually cooking in store have come down the generations, which you can actually relate to the Italian cuisine, and so on and so forth. So just think of a little, maybe again, you can brainstorm this with your most loyal customers, with your staff members, and within yourself as to what you want your customers to know about you as a restaurant. Again, it is a very simple exercise that you can do. Note down 3 or 4 or 5, 6 things that you want your brand to know, be known for, and then start looking at, okay, if I want to know, if I want to convey this message, how can I convey this message? Convey this message through a simple logo, convey this message through some pictures, convey through this message through the menu pricing, and all those kind of things that would actually come, and it would help you drive your messaging going forward, the messaging on social media, messaging on emails, messaging on other channels that you want to convey to the customer. So again, it is a, again, as I said, as any restaurant, you need not spend hours and hours and hours of this, and also a lot of resources in both in terms of time and also in terms of dollars to come up with this brand identity, so that you can come up with, again, very simple things, right? And it actually has to have what exactly you are providing. Like if you look at, obviously we gotta give examples on these, like Subway and all those things, right? They want to say it is eat fresh. That's what their logo is all about, saying that we actually have everything made from scratch right before you. We basically bake the bread, we have these meats or produce that we get, and we basically make it before you, and that's a sub that you can actually enjoy with your family or friends and all those kind of things, right? Um, so identifying your value proposition with regards to your target audience is a very critical parameter that you would actually say. And then you might want to do a little bit of, again, as I said, like back and forth with your loyal customers or with your first few customers, and say that, hey, like when I talk about this, does it resonate with what we are offering? Does this logo resonate with what we want to convey? Does this positioning or your tagline or anything like that, is it like something that you can relate to? As in, these are the kind of questions that you can actually ask your customers. And at the same time, you want to differentiate yourself with your competitors. Like if there's a next door pizza place, which might be a chain, you might want to say, hey, we are not a chain. We do not use any frozen stuff, because in a chain, most of the times they might use frozen stuff. Again, as I said, they might, and it need not be a rule, but you can differentiate yourself saying that we are a local mom and pop store, giving back to the community and all those kind of things, right? So these are the different things that you want to look at in terms of from a branding perspective, right? Like what colors, what logo, what fonts, right? All these kind of things that you might actually want to take a look at it, and all these things would actually have to go into your website, in the sense that if you're thinking of, again, as I said, something that you want to give fresh or off the oven, or like no frozen stuff and all those kind of things, then you might want to use some colors which you want your logo or your customers to know about, like light colors. Again, this is my perception of saying that a light color would go with fresh, like a green or something like that, but it all depends on your own perception as well, right? So once you have done that, again, once you have created that, make sure, again, another important facet is in terms of mobile first. Right now, when we look at our clients, we see that 70 to 80% of the traffic actually comes from mobile. So that means your designs, everything has to start with how would this logo look like on a mobile side, on a smartphone, again, obviously with the pervasive penetration of smartphones, both Android and iOS, you might want to check as to how it would look. How would a picture would look like? Is my website loading fast? Is it possible for people to basically click and call or click to place an order? So this is what we keep on saying to all our clients. In today's world, your right hand thumb or maybe left hand thumb is the most important organ, given the fact that we are glued to our phones. We keep on like trying to flip across screens, trying to figure out things and keep typing stuff. And your fingers, like as in like your fingers, like, or you want to make sure that whatever information that you are providing is on fingertips, literally on fingertips. Ability to make a call, ability to place an order, ability to find directions, ability to view menu. All these things have to be focused with your phone being on a customer's hand, and they're trying to use their right hand thumb, scanning through these different things. Can they click on to make a one-click call and all those things? And that's what we use at mConnect as a guiding principle, saying that if I, as a end user, I'm going to a website, can I do these things without trying to use both my hands? Can I just use my one finger, which is my right hand thumb, to make sure that I can get to these things, placing an order, calling, trying to find the menu, and all those kind of things, right? Again, if you look at Google provides you with links and other things where you can actually check as to how your website would look like on a mobile phone, and how the experience would be, how fast it is loading. Are there any things that you can actually do in order to optimize the mobile experience? And as a matter of fact, Google has started like indexing mobile phones, as in like the mobile design itself, in the sense that they would start looking at your website and say, okay, is this mobile compatible? Do they have a mobile friendly or a responsive design that would enable a customer to basically visit the website? And that's when, if that is the case, they will go ahead and give you, maybe again from an SEO point of view or from a search results point of view, your website would rank a little bit better than the one which does not have this kind of this one, right? Again, some of the very essentials of the mobile first design: page speed, navigation, design, and content wise, like if a picture that is looking good on a desktop, is it looking the same thing on when it is shrunk, and when it is showing on this one, is it like the same thing, right? And are you able to load the pictures, load the menu, able to make a calls and all those kind of things? Is it readable, like the content, can you read the content and all those kind of things, right? And then obviously the color schema and all those kind of things, that makes a whole lot of difference. Now, when we talk about the mobile, we talked about the design and all those kind of things, right? And this is related to the navigation, is related to that same aspect as from a design perspective. This is like what we call as an user experience, right? So when you talk about user experience, one should be able to find few things, again, from a restaurant's perspective, right? What are the most important things that you want to convey to a customer? Where you are located, what are your timings, right? How can you navigate to their location? Can you place an online order? Can you actually call them? Are there any specials that they can actually look? So these are few things that a customer is looking for in the very first go. So you, as a restaurant owner or a social media marketing company, are you able to provide these things in a very user friendly way? So from a user experience point of view, do they actually have to jump through hoops to get to these points of interest that the customer is looking for? If I'm actually looking for catering, can I actually see your catering menu? Or do I have to go through 3-4 steps and try to get information about your catering menu? Is it possible for me to see how you would lay out your catering stuff, in the sense that, hey, do you provide all the required stuff in terms of catering? Do you provide staff as well, and all those kind of things in terms of this one, right? So, so these are the different things that you want to take a look at in terms of from a navigation point of view, right? Again, how easy is it to find? As you can see, this is the difference between Chick-fil-A. Again, obviously, we are showing a prominent brand here, Chick-fil-A. But here you can see how easy is it. Again, from our perspective, for you as a mom and pop store, or a small marketing agency, creating websites with mobile sites and all those kind of things is, at this time, with all the latest technologies, is very easy and cost effective, right? So again, as you can see, this is another example of Burger King or Chipotle, where they actually are adding things to their footer and all those things for them to navigate, in terms of easy to navigate between their menu, placing an order, finding locations, and all those kind of things, right? Once you have this one, again, the next important fact is the NAP. The NAP is basically your address, your name, and the phone numbers, right? In the sense, this is the NAP information that it is like a schema of things that Google is looking for. So when Google is scanning through the websites, their first location, they're looking for this and in a particular format, and you need to make sure that this is present on all your pages, as well as on your header and footer as well. So this is important for a few reasons. Again, as I said, like, people are looking for what is around me. When Google wants to display like your pizza place, they want to make sure that they're providing the right information to the customers. in terms of, okay, is it possible for the customer who's looking for a pizza place to call your pizza place with just a click? Can they find directions to that one? And what is the name of this place? And are they open right now? So if you look at it from a Google's perspective, Google want to make sure that they are providing this information to their customers who are searching for pizza place. If you as a restaurant owner are not providing this information to Google or providing incorrect information to Google, who in turn might provide the same thing to the customer who's searching for a pizza place, they might get dissatisfied or pissed off at Google, saying that why is Google providing me with an information for a restaurant which is closed right now or is out of business or the phone number is inaccurate and all those kind of things. So it is, you are making Google look good in front of the customers. So if you do that, Google will obviously kind of reward you with better rankings and all those kind of things. So the NEP information, address, phone number, and the name is very, very crucial when you look at this one. And there are specific schemas that you want to use. Again, it is very easy. You can actually go to Google and try to figure out this out. Or you can reach out to your web designers regarding this, but you make sure that this information is being displayed when you speak with your customer, when you think of your website, right? Following this one is your store locator. Again, when we talk about store locator, like if you have multiple locations, right, you need to make sure that you are either taking the permission, again, depending upon your locations, taking the permission of the customers and saying that this is very much possible in today's technology, that you can find out from where exactly the customer is coming to your website, and you can ask for the permission to allow their location, or depending upon their IP address, you can get an approx location and display your nearest location and those kind of things. So that store locator, again, this is imperative if you have multiple locations, or even if you have a single location. The store location is very important, given the fact that it will allow people to find out whether your store is in the neighborhood area, whether you can deliver to their address and all those kind of things. And again, for you to do this one, make sure that you create a Google My Business account, and then you can make sure that your address information, your phone number, and all those kind of things on Google My Business is accurate. We recently had a webinar around this topic as well. So making sure that you have the same the location information on Google My Business, and then follow up with installing a widget like a Google Maps widget or other plugins if you're using WordPress websites, making sure that the map is actually, it can show your location in terms of how far the customer is from your location and all those kind of things. Again, there are many widgets available out there, even from Google as well, or third-party applications that you can install if you are doing either WordPress or any other website builders, right? Obviously, this is when you talk about menu optimization, right? This by far is the most important thing for us. That's what we have actually seen. And in some of the cases, people actually put just the PDF files on their menus, saying that these are the menus, and then they would actually have 3, 4, or 5 or 6 pages of PDF files which they've actually used in their in-store menu. It is good that you have such an exhaustive menu, but if you're just posting some things like a 5 or 6 page document, and you expect people, again, as we said, that around 70 to 80% of the traffic is coming from mobile site, and when someone is trying to open a menu page, which is a PDF document, it is not clear. You have to use your hands, and then it will just turn off your customers, and they'll just like leave your menu. Again, the reason why you are in this restaurant business is you want to showcase what exactly you're offering, and making sure that you you have either the pictures or the categories or what exactly you're showcasing in terms of the menu wise. That is very, very important. Either making sure that you have a menu page, and menu page as per your categories, or as per your, if you have a lunch menu, dinner menu, and those kind of things. And the other thing that you want to showcase is your pictures, making sure that these pictures are realistic. And obviously everyone knows that when you take pictures, they look super, super good, but when you go, this is the classic case of the fluffed buns. People complain about McDonald's, right? When you look at McDonald's, their burgers are like, basically their buns are super, super fluffy, and they're like raised like a high tower. But when you actually go to the restaurant and ask for the same burger, you would actually see those are compressed burgers, like a flat tire kind of a thing. So make sure that when you are presenting your pictures in terms of the menu wise, as much as possible, show the reality. If you are showcasing that you actually have a wide range or like a nice layout of your pictures of your food, make sure that you are presenting it the way that you are actually presenting it on your menu page. And that is very critical, because you don't want to look deceiving. And for sometimes we actually had complaints in the sense that we ourselves have, when we use stock pictures, those stock pictures look good, and customers call up and say that, okay, I want my pizza to look like this one, or I want my pasta to look like that one. And then you would say, oh, please take this picture because it is not representative of my this one. So so from a menu optimization point of view, making sure that you have the um, right pictures, right menu presentation. Again, as I said, like if you have multiple menus, make sure that you are presenting those menus in terms of how exactly you want to showcase them, like catering menu, lunch menu, dinner menu, or if you actually have a bar menu or anything like that, right? And making sure that you actually have the navigation. Again, this goes back to the navigation that we talked about, right? The user experience. If someone is basically, you can also make sure that, hey, if someone is coming to the restaurant in the morning, showcase them saying that, hey, this is our breakfast menu. And if it is in the lunch, then you can say this is our lunch menu. And if they want to like look at any other things, then they can actually look at other menus as well. But you are driving them to a point of action, or what we call as an action, click to act kind of a thing, where you are saying that, hey, it's right now breakfast time, and you can actually order breakfast right now, kind of a thing, right? In terms of, again, as we said, right, like making sure you have the right categories. When we talk about categories, hey, do you actually have pizzas, pastas, or do you actually have any lunch specials, right? Or if you are a taco place, do you actually have any Taco Tuesday? Or for example, yesterday was Cinco de Mayo, right? So do you actually have any Cinco de Mayo specials, like margaritas or anything like that, right? And making sure that you actually have the right description, right? When someone is looking at a picture and they want to know what exactly the name of the picture is and what it has. And obviously with some chains and other places, you actually have this option of and again, it is as per the state laws as well, you need to provide calorie values. You might actually have to provide any allergies or something like that. Like for example, if you are providing some gluten-free options or some vegan options, you might want to say that, hey, this is a vegan, this one with no additives and all those kind of things, so that people who have dietary restrictions, they might actually look at it and say, oh, this is something that I would like to basically order, and all those kind of things, right? So making sure that you have the right description, the right pictures, and any other state mandated information, including calorific values or anything like that. Or if it is, again, as I said, gluten-free options, you might want to have a disclaimer saying that It can be made in environments where cross-pollination or cross-contamination can happen and all those kind of things. So legally speaking and ethically speaking, you are being upfront with your customers, saying that, hey, we will try to maintain the description or whatever restrictions that we have actually placed, but there can be instances where a spoon used in maybe a peanut butter jelly can end up in a place where you need to make sure that it does not happen as much as possible. That is, it is your responsibility from an operations point of view and all those kind of things. And then making sure that you have that disclaimer as well is important for you from a ethical as well as a legal standpoint of view. Right. Again, as you can see, obviously you want to say what price options, and is it possible for them to place an order right from there itself? Or if possible, can they actually click another button to see, okay, this is the menu I'm seeing. Now I want to go ahead and place an order. When they click on it, either add the item directly or go to the online ordering link for them to place an order. Right. And I've been talking about the image optimization a lot. So when you look at image optimization, right, like think of it as at two levels. One is the picture that you're showcasing should be a representative of what you're serving at the restaurant, right? And obviously with Instagram, and there have been a lot of articles or news items where people are making dishes Instagrammable, in the sense that making sure that there are like contrast colors or lighting and all those kind of things to make sure that the pictures are Instagram worthy kind of a thing. That's one thing that you might want to look into. And then the second aspect is when we talk about image optimization, um, optimization in terms of the screens, whether the image that shows up on your desktop versus your tablet versus your mobile phone, is it optimized to, like, is my picture is getting cut somewhere, or is it like getting blurry or something like that? And at the same time, the optimization is also in terms of size. So when I'm opening this image size on my thing on my mobile phone, would I, if you're like, let's assume this is like a high definition of file that you have actually uploaded, the best of the best file. But when it loads onto your mobile site, then the best of the best would actually take a lot of time to download. And that means the customer, again, with the attention span that they have today, they would just be turned off, and then they would actually go to some other page, and or you might just get out of your page, and thereby impacting the user experience. So the optimization is not just in terms of the layout, in terms of like basically showing what exactly it is, but also in terms of the page speed and all those kind of things. And we typically use some tools to compress images without impacting the quality of the image itself. Like, for example, a tool called compressor.io will actually enable you to compress a picture from MBs to KBs without impacting the quality of the picture. So it's important that you basically look into that in terms of the images that you have. And again, with a food photographer, which might take like maybe a couple of $100, your your return on investment on that one would be a much better one in terms of creating some images and all those kind of things. So in the sense that, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, spend some money in terms of hiring a professional photographer to do the job, rather, or else try to take pictures with your cameras as well. Nowadays, with all the pixels or the cameras that you have, and also there are a lot of apps out there which will enable you to take beautiful pictures. Again, make sure that when you're doing this, you have the proper lighting and all those kind of things that you can actually take the picture. And again, by far, when people are looking at these pictures, again, when they are supporting a local mom and pop store, they do understand that your burger picture when compared with your McDonald's will not be as appealing, as fluffy, and all those kind of things. But they know it would be close to reality in terms of what to expect and all those kind of things. So again, when we talk about hiring a professional photographer, make sure that you don't overdo things in terms of making it more appealing by touching the pictures than what exactly it is what you're offering in the store. Right. So now, in the initial beginning, we actually talked about something about to do with you can identify if a user is the first time user or is a repeat customer, and if the user is within the, again, we also talked about the location information, saying that based on the IP address or with user's permission, you can find out if the user is in the neighborhood area, and depending upon that, you can navigate or make the user experience a different one. Again, we talked about the user experience in terms of navigation and all those kind of things. So bear in mind, when we talk about these 10 different things, all these are interrelated. Again, um, I have said early in the beginning, these 10 tasks are not in any way one is higher ranked than the other one. All of them are equally ranked, and all these 10 tasks one actually has to do in order to make sure that you get the best out of your website. And then when we talk um, about this pop-ups, right? Specifically for this one, in terms of the user experience itself, right? Like, okay, can you actually set it up in such a way that if you are coming up with the first if the customer is coming for the first time, can you actually make sure that you are can you come up with can you come up with a plan or with an offer for the customer who's visiting for the first time? If the customer is coming back repeatedly, can you offer them something different, right? So these, again, the technologies to track a customer if they're for the first time, or if they're coming from second or third time, or if they're coming from a nearby place, those technologies exist. Again, these are not hard to do implementations that can be done with any of these third-party applications or plugins on WordPress or third-party website builders that you can actually do, right? Making sure that when you actually have a pop-up, it has to have a CTA. CTA is basically making a call to action or something that you're expecting the customer to do. Like if you are saying that someone is coming on it, you're a taco place and you're coming on a Taco Tuesday, and you want to say that, okay, today is Taco Tuesday, buy one get one free tacos, right? Or right now you want to promote your online ordering because of the COVID situation, then anyone who's coming to your website, you can actually say get 10% off of your this one. So that is what we do for most of our clients. We want to make sure that we have pop-ups. We want to make sure that these pop-ups are not superimposive on clients, on customers. We don't want to have a pop-up for every 5 seconds, or if they move from one page to another page and all those kind of things. Just think of yourself as a customer who's going to a page or a website, and you don't want to be bombarded with so many pop-ups that you would just close. Again, bear in mind, for you as a restaurant owner, the customer is super picky. They have many options. You don't want to piss them off, but at the same time, you don't want to miss on some things, like in terms of making sure that they actually place an order or subscribe to your specials or something like that. And depending upon the kind of relationship that you want to develop, and depending upon whether this customer is a new customer or a repeat customer and all those kind of things, right? For most part, you would be able to get this information using Google Analytics, using Facebook Pixels, using your own third-party plugins, and all those kind of things, right? And then you can also have, like, once they sign up, MailChimp, for example, we use MailChimp a lot, where you can actually integrate with MailChimp, and when they sign up, they would get an email immediately saying that, oh, thank you very much for signing up, and you would get an email, or you can also divert them to another landing page where they would actually say, oh, here is your coupon, 30% off, like, for example, that you actually have, that you can get to, right? So again, the autoresponders is a must, in the sense that you are asking them, if they submit an email ID, they can actually get to this, as in, like, they can actually get something valuable right away, or a link to an online ordering page, and all those kind of things, right? And then the local citations, right? Like, when we talk about local citations, this is to do with making sure, we talked about having different avenues for you. Your website should be the destination for your customers. So that means, if someone is going on different pages, they should basically be redirected to your website. You want people to click on your menu page, or you might want to actually look at, like, how people are actually leaving reviews on Yelp or Facebook or something like that, right? Make sure that you are adding your website to local listings. Here at mConnect, we do actually maintain a list of more than 100 sites where we actually add our clients to. So this way, if you look at it, like, Google as, like, think of it as a hierarchy, right? You actually have Google at the very top in terms of the search engine wise, but Google in turn depends on different local listings to make sure that your restaurant website is not just listed on Google My Business, but it's also listed on Yellow Pages or White Pages or local directories. And there are multiple local directories that you can actually get access to depending upon your location. And having these citations, like, for example, let's assume this way, right? Like, you are a new restaurant, you might want to reach out to your local newspaper and say that, hey, would you like to write an article about me? Or you are donating, like, 100 meals to a local hospital, they might want to write an article about you with a link. At that point of time, Google will say that, oh, this particular website is linked to a Dallas Morning News. That means I'm going to trust this website a lot more than your competitor who is just listed in particular one. So your local citations, they make a whole lot of difference in terms of, from a search results point of view, and all those kind of things. Again, as I said, at mConnect, we have more than 100 lists, the 100 listings that we actually follow, making sure that we list those websites, the current website on these things. There are also a lot of third-party applications which actually say that they will maintain your local citations. Like, for example, the one thing that comes to my mind is Yext, yext.com. So they would manage your local listings. Again, when we talk about local listings, right, making sure that you have the right NAP information, the name, address, phone number, URLs, and all those kind of things listed on these ones. And obviously making sure that, if, for example, I'll just give an example of what actually happened in COVID. So obviously dining in has reduced, and a lot of people have changed their timings. So that means you need to make sure that these local listings actually have the right timings, so that it is properly reflected in all the search results, right? So you can actually use this, making sure that you use the latest timings and all those kind of things. So the last one is the search engine optimization. For most people, when we talk about search engine optimization, there are a few things that we keep telling our customers, right? There are two things. One is an on-page optimization, and the second one is an off-site optimization. On-site optimization is making sure that you actually have the meta tags and all those kind of things. Like, for example, you are in a restaurant in Dallas, or let's assume in a particular location in this one. So your description should say that the best pizza place in Dallas, Fort Worth, or right, so that if someone is searching for best pizza places in Dallas, Google will know that, oh, this pizza place is in Dallas, so that means I have to show this listing to this customer who's asking for the best pizza places in Dallas. Again, bear in mind that just by writing a meta tag, or in the sense that like a description or something like that, will not make sure that your website will basically be up there in the listings on the top 10 or something like that, because there are other sites which are doing the same thing. So there are multiple factors that go into SEO. As we say, it is basically your on-page optimization that you can actually control in terms of making sure that you have the right tags, right descriptions, right tags on your pictures, right, and all these kind of things. And your content actually has to keep on changing. Maybe you might want to put fresh pictures or specials or different reviews or all those kind of things that you might want to do. And you can also make sure that you actually look for the keywords. Like if you look at keywords, you can actually look at Google keywords, or you can also go to Google My Business and look at the people, what website or what keywords people are using to come to your website, so that you can actually keep track of whether these keywords are actually being listed. You can also do a competitive study or competitor study and see what keywords they are using, and kind of if you're getting the traffic and all those kind of things. Again, bear in mind when you're looking at Google Analytics, seeing how many people are coming to your website directly, how many people are using search results, how many people are actually sticking to your website, how many are bouncing back, and all those kind of things makes a whole lot of difference. And obviously, creating a sitemap, and you can actually submit this one on Google Search Console as well as Bing Webmaster Tools. And creating a sitemap is very, very easy. You can just search for it, or create an XML file and all this, or a text file and all those things, right? Um, and we talked about the citations in the previous slides. Like having citations will actually help your SEO. One thing we keep on telling our clients is do not spend thousands and thousands of dollars on search engine optimization, because all the big companies are doing the same thing. From a mom and pop point of view, our best advice is, from a search engine optimization, optimize your site to make sure that you have all the relevant tags, keywords, and all those kind of things. And then on the off-site, do as much as possible in terms of making sure that you have the right this one. And the most important fact for restaurants is you need to have a lot of reviews. Make sure that your customers are providing reviews on Google, on Facebook, on Yelp, and that means that will actually lead to a lot more customers coming to your website and all those kind of things. So those are the things that you want to focus from an SEO point of view, rather than trying to do these link building and all those kind of things. Again, those things are very important, but at the same time, those are super expensive for a small mom and pop store. So the return on investment would not be that much. Just because this is the key thing which we keep on telling our customers, saying that our clients, just because you're in the top 10 doesn't mean that people are going to go. Once you're there, they're going to actually look at your website, they're going to look at your ratings and reviews and all those kind of things. So in turn, if you focus on getting the best reviews or more reviews and all those kind of things, that in turn will actually boost your restaurant listings that will actually come up, and maybe spend a little bit more money on search ads and all those kind of things, which to us is a better investment than spending a lot more money on search engine optimization, in terms of like out there, which people do it. Like if you're an insurance broker, or if you're or a plumber or something, where you're per unit cost is very high, where you can make thousands of dollars. Whereas in case of an SEO from a restaurant perspective, the average ticket is very less, and there is too much competition as well. So that's where we say that the optimization is better done through on-site optimization and a little bit of off-site without spending too much money, and maybe doing more search engine ads. Just to wrap up, right? Like again, as I said early in the beginning, having a website with the right tools in terms of branding, in terms of navigation, in terms of mobile optimization, making sure the right information of the menus, the pictures, right? All these things are very, very super critical. And creating a website is not a time consuming factor, nor is it resource intensive, but making sure you have the right pictures, right descriptions, right history of your restaurant, and all those kind of things is super important. And it's super easy. Again, as I said, at mConnect, we are right now running a deal for, I think it's $49 a month, where you will get your online ordering plus a website, a brand new website, which is mobile optimized, which adheres to all the things that we actually talked about here. So in the wrap up, if you have any questions, please contact us. Again, this is our email ID. You can email us or call us. We are more than happy to help you, whether you're a restaurant owner or a social media marketing company who wants to help their clients. We can talk about how we can help you with regards to our 4Q platform or our mConnect platform. And then, again, as I said, we are here to help, and please be safe out there with all the social distancing aspects that people are advising. Use gloves, masks, sanitizers, hand washing, and all those kind of things. And thanks again for joining us. If you have any questions, again, feel free to email us. We will be again coming up with a new topic for next month. You can also share this webinar. It would be posted on YouTube. You can share this with your friends and others who you think might benefit from this. Thanks everyone for your time. And as always, we look forward to talking to you soon. Any questions, please drop us an email. Thank you.